Hello and welcome to another episode of Mortgage Video Mastermind, where we bring you professionals who share insight into the latest trends, tips, industry, technology, and services to help you create more videos to use in your mortgage business.
Nice, I do.
Where are you staying at?
Well, right now I'm in the Westin, but I'm here in Atlanta. I had to move over here to the Westin because I was on stage this morning, and it was just easier to grab a spot here, and I didn't want to run back there to do this. So
we're live. We don't want to disclose your location because all of your fans crowding the lobby. Yeah, all your fans crowding the lobby. They might.
I was thinking more of the mafia. I owe Frankie and some of his friends some money, so I was more worried about the mafia.
Okay. So I'm going to make sure we're not getting any feedback on this because I know I did that one time before, and I think that's why we had left it. So, happy Friday! It's good to see you all. And Carl, I know you're in Atlanta today. Scott, you're home in Austin, and I'm actually home in Portland. So, very good. And I know, Carl, just on a side note, so you are speaking, you're done speaking at the NAM?
Finished.
Okay.
Yeah, finished. It's a really good group here. It's called the
That's called the internet. Wi-Fi is undependable.
yeah, because otherwise you go, hey, Carl, you're a white male, so what's with the minority thing,
Well, you froze, Carl. Where are you at? What group did you speak in front of?
I'm at the National Association of Minority Mortgage Bankers, which is just an outstanding. What's that?
Go ahead.
Is my internet connection bad?
Nope, you're fine. You're good.
Okay. But anyway, so I'm at the National Association of Minority Mortgage Bankers, and just an outstanding group, and based here, actually based in Orlando, Florida. They just hold their conference here in Orlando because it's easy people nationwide to fly into.
Nice.
And technically, I think redneck counts as a minority.
I think it does. Well, actually, I wouldn't say this because I wouldn't want it to sound uncool, but actually I am 6% East African. And it's kind of I don't know if this is probably not the appropriate platform, but my great-great-great-grandmother was a sugarcane worker in Jamaica.
Wow.
And my great-great-great-grandfather was a missionary in Virginia. So he went down to Jamaica to save souls, and apparently a couple other things were on his mind. And so that's my heritage. So, or part of my heritage. So, yeah.
That's amazing that we can discover those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought it was just cool as hell. Number one, it was finding out what my ethnicity was really cool, and then to start putting some work and find out who these people were. And I actually found my great-great-grandmother's grave up in Virginia, and so it's been I love the 23andMe and that type of stuff. It's fascinating.
Yeah. Well, we can have an entire conversation about that because
that's not what we're talking about today.
Not what we're talking about today. And it's funny because we were talking about getting into video challenges, and I had started a video challenge for myself back in 2018, and I think it was like in the summer, and that September, because I had done the 23andMe, and I found my birth father's family because I was adopted. So it was funny because I was in the middle of doing all these videos, like I was doing a daily video challenge, and that just happened during that time, which was crazy. And so I shared a lot of that. And shared it because I was already doing video anyway every day, so it kind of became a part of my story, which was very interesting. And to think about that and sharing your stories. I mean, we're talking about video, so I'll link this in. So I was sharing this story, and people that follow me on social media, I was speaking in Vegas at the NAM conference. And I, honest to God, had a line of people waiting to talk to me at a cocktail reception we were at because they wanted to share their story with me because they had been following my story as that was revealed as part of this video thing I was doing, and it just happened during that time. So it was so interesting, and I loved it. And we talked about, Scott, you know, the power of video and people coming up to you at conferences, and you know, you get that a lot. But what's cool was about this is it wasn't just that they felt like they knew me, but they felt like they knew me and wanted to share their stories with me and be a part of that as well. So, you know, it's like, it's,
well, and you know, Ginger, and you know what? Not only do people feel like they know you, they know you.
yeah.
Right? Because who you are comes across on your video better than print, better than any other media, obviously by far.
Yeah.
And
So, taking that one step further, so and doing all of that, when I did meet, it was my half brother who connected through 23andMe, and boy, what a surprise to him!
Was he in that line?
He was not in that line.
Oh, okay, that would have been a trip.
But I was quite a surprise because they didn't know that Dad had managed to have a child before married Mom. But one of my brothers he's a retired colonel, and works, at the time he was working for the White House, doing something as far as flights and Air Force One and all this other stuff. And so when they connected with me, they were concerned that I was after something, money or whatever, or wasn't telling the truth. And so he actually had my videos analyzed, that the story I was telling about finding him, he had my videos analyzed by somebody that's like a lie expert to see if I was lying. That's how strong videos are, that they can actually watch videos supposedly and tell whether somebody's telling the truth or not.
Wow. Yeah. So this is so funny how this reveals itself, because, you know, we start talking about Carl and about genealogy, and then you had a story. And I'm glad we tied this in together, because especially when we're doing these video challenges, I think the pressure comes from, and I think Carl, you shared, or Ginger, you shared a comment that we got in the Mortgage Video Mastermind of somebody that, you know, they were feeling really anxious and it took a long time to record it. But I think we feel pressure to sell or talk about business or deliver business, but that's not in the business that we're in. We're in the relationship business. Mm-hmm. We're in the business of earning the trust of our consumers. And I think what's gotten lost on the internet is consumers are expected to push buttons and fill out forms, and they're not always given the opportunity to get to know somebody and know their character, and have some insight into who they are and what their hobbies and what they love and what they hate. And I think that's probably the single most powerful. And I would say, I mean, I know for me, one of the things that attracted me to Carl over 10 years ago was he's just Carl. He's just a good dude. He's a transparent guy. He has a sense of humor about himself and his background, and he's just a regular person. He's not always on. It's not always business. It's just, he's a good guy with a lot of stuff, with a lot of history, and he tells great stories about that, and he's able to tie a lot of that into business and life. And I think that's super important, because, you know, I'm doing the 75 easy video challenge too, and I need more people posting in the video mortgage group, so I'm not there I don't want two of them in a row in the group, because I'm sharing those in the group. So we want everybody that's watching these, share your videos to the group if you can, and let people see what you're doing. But I think that's so important, is it doesn't have to be about business. It can be about who people want to do business with. And you do that by just being your genuine self.
Yeah.
And I like that. Yeah. And you know, so like on mine, like I do a lot of stuff like with, with my friends or family, or in my case, my wife or my kids. And I think it's, I think you can do both. And what I mean by that is, if I was like, I think doing videos about mortgage and mortgage subjects, like, you know, Ginger, in your book, you know, that has all those ideas, I think that's great stuff. I really do. I also think it's good. Like one of my favorite videos to do, and it's done real well for me, like real well, is where and typically I would do this on a Thursday, and I'd look up online on the local newspaper what's happening this weekend in our area. And I'd pick like 3 things, nothing controversial or anything, just like 3 kind of cool. One artsy fartsy, one thing that's adult-ish but not controversial, and one thing for the kids. And then shoot a real quick little video. Say, hey, Maria might be either with me, or maybe she's planting flowers behind me and petting the little unicorn in the backyard, just kind of like puppy dogs and rainbows kind of stuff. And so, hey, Maria and I going out on the town, and we found this thing happening, this thing happening. That's what we're thinking about doing this weekend. Hope to see you out on the town. Oh, by the way, if you have any friends, family, coworkers looking to buy, sell, or refinance, that's what we do. We do mortgages over here. So thanks a lot. Hope to see you out on the town. Like the call to action is literally about 7 or 8 seconds.
Right.
And, anyway, I think you can do both on that kind of thing. And I think people are interested, like what's happened this weekend. It's just one of many subjects to do. So, but I do think it's okay to do the mortgage, topics too, like what's in the book, like, what's a jumbo mortgage and how's a VA different. So I think you're right, Scott. It doesn't have to always be me turning on a video and talking about, Fannie Mae guideline 2.396. Yeah. Nothing wrong with doing that from time to time, right. But mixing it up. Mm-hmm.
Who does a really, really amazing job of this is Alan Christian. Mm-hmm. We had Alan on the group the one time. What he does is absolutely fascinating. Is he will meet people like at restaurants, and then he'll shoot a video and he'll tell a story about that person's life and how he, one that really stuck with me, and it was almost uncomfortable reading it because it was so vulnerable. And it was that he saw this guy that was a server, and he felt himself feeling bad about it. Oh, this old man has to serve. And he started talking to the guy, and it ends up, he's retired. He's sold a bunch of businesses. He's independently wealthy, and he just likes to be around people. Mm-hmm. So he's a server at this local restaurant. And Alan's like, I felt myself feeling bad for this person, and I struck up a conversation. But I mean, he always works in. He's a mortgage company, and here's his mortgage company. And I was out having dinner, and they're gripping stories, and they're so vulnerable. And they're just amazing. So I want to give him a shout out because he does a really good job of this. Yeah.
Oh, he's on mute. Carl, you're on mute.
Yeah, that's really good stuff. And something that I found is we can borrow other people's stories. Now, you don't say, well, I did this and I did that. That's totally uncool, right? But it's okay for me to say, Scott was telling me this time that he went to a restaurant and he saw this guy, and it gets the same impact. So one thing that I mean, honestly, what I've done in the past is I'll go on Google and I'll just Google cool short stories. Mm-hmm. And I'll look and I'll see I go, wow, that's really a cool story. And that I got something that'll weave into that. Yeah. And so I'll say, I heard about this guy and what he did or what she did. And so you can borrow other people's story, not claiming it as my own, right? If you claim it as your own, make sure it's your own story. But I can borrow somebody else's story, totally cool, exact same impact, and you still get all the credit when you do that. Even though you're giving the credit appropriately to somebody else, you still get all the credit.
Yeah. Well, and to nerd out on you for a second, that's the difference between creating content and curating content. And curating content is so valuable because you have an opportunity to give your perspective on something that somebody else said. So you could, like you said, that Google search, you can find something that, Dave Ramsey is a great source of topics of conversation that a lot of loan officers disagree with some of the financial advice. It doesn't mean he's wrong. It just means I have this different take on it. And that's the curation of content. And that's a really, really effective strategy.
Yep, definitely.
Hey, Ginger, I got to, here in just a little bit, I've got to dash over to the airport to catch my plane, and Atlanta traffic would be kind of rough. Hey, could you, I know we're talking about this 75 easy, and I know we have a lot more people starting with it next week. We're doing a concerted push to push it out. Could you just give me a bullet point of what I'm supposed to be doing in that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and you can go, I'm going to share my screen here.
And if you've done this 50,000 times and I'm the one that didn't hear it,
No, not at all. You
okay.
were just getting started with this. And we began the discussion last week, just kind of talking about, you're watching everybody doing the 75 hard and the challenge with that. And it's like, well, why don't we do a 75 hard video challenge? And Carl, you had a brilliant idea. Let's call it 75 easy. It's like, that's what we're doing. And so, using that same premise of when you do a repeatable action over time, it becomes a habit. And a lot of the reasons why people are not doing videos is not just that they don't like how they look, they get over that, and it's not even what they don't know what to say, but it's making it a habit and making it a part of you and your daily activities. And so that's why we started the 75 easy video challenge. And I created, so there's a website you can go to which is called 75 easy video challenge, or and I think it's 75 video challenge too. Scott, I know you're trying to remember. But basically, it's simple. So you record and post one video a day. That's it. You can post it onto Facebook. You can post it onto Instagram. You can put it onto Twitter. You can put it onto YouTube. I don't care where you put it at. We have the Mortgage Video Mastermind group. So it's good to put it on there too, so everybody can start seeing it. And Scott and I are not the only ones posting there. So over time, we want it to grow. But that's the first thing. And then the second thing is to read 10 non-fictional pages a day. And I have a list of some recommended marketing and video books because we want to obviously reinforce that. And then the third is to make 5 phone calls. So whether it's to prospects, whether it's to your partners, whether it's to friends, just connect with people. I think where we are right now, it's important to be able to do those connections. And honestly, you could record a video and then make a phone call to a real estate agent and say, hey, I just recorded a video. Scott, you did a great one talking about the Vantage credit score, that it's like, hey, I just recorded a video, thought it could be helpful to you. Can I send it to you? That's it. So it's very simple. So those 3 things: record and post 1 video each day, read 10 pages a day, nonfiction book, call 5 people a day. And so I've created some super simple, it's a countdown tracker, so you can just mark off, you can, print these are free. If you go to the 75 easy video challenge, you can register, we'll send it to you as a download. And then you can start tracking it off. And then I've made just the daily things, so you can, again, check it off. I'm a checklist girl. I always will be. And so for me, this is a visual to be able to say, okay, I did this every day. And then we have down here for you to write out some video topics. And I know someone said, it'd be great to have video topics. I have the Mortgage Video Planner, has 52 different topics, so you can use that. And then, talk about some of the other things that we're doing, as far as it doesn't always have to be about mortgage. It could be about sharing a story. Carl, I love the idea of telling somebody else's story. I listen to Bobby Bones in the morning. I'm a country western gal, and so, that'll come on. I'm laying in bed in the morning to wake me up. And he always has, I think it's 3 feel-good stories that he shares. And, they find these things on the internet of what people have done, and they share them. You could do exactly that same thing on a video, and that could be a part of it. So those are the things we're going to do. That's it, 75 Easy Video Challenge. And join us. We had a couple people who said, they don't want to do it on the weekend. Got it. So record it, a couple during the week, and you can actually set it up to where it'll be timed and go out onto your Facebook. On your Instagram, you need to have Hootsuite in order to do that. But, that's it. Just start making video.
I would also say this is a personal challenge. We're not, this is you're accountable for your own actions.
Yep.
I have a daily regimen that every morning I have to read something that was printed before Gutenberg. So like I have a different take on them, not necessarily, I can't get to 10 pages of nonfiction necessarily, but I'm still going to do that video every single day. So this is, do the best you can with this. If you can accomplish all three of those things, you're creating three separate habits. So we've tied in three really good habits: create content, learn what to talk about the next time you create content, get some new ideas, and then tell people about the things that you're learning and talking about. And those are great things, but if you don't get to all of them every single day, do one thing and you can still feel like a champ. And then just do the best that do the best that you can.
Yeah. And learning those habits with the reading too is learning and growing. So craft, developing that craft. And that's what I actually just got yesterday, the 1-page marketing plan, which I haven't read. I wanted to read something new. I saw it. I don't know if it's any good or not. It's not 1 page because I got the book and it's about that thick. Well, so much for the 1-page marketing plan.
It's a book about 1 page.
But it's like that. It's like always grow. Always craft. And I love that, Scott. As far as get up in the morning and read something. To be able to expand. And I think that's very important to do. So that's it. Send it out with your groups. The other thing we've done is we are moving our Mortgage Video Mastermind call, from Friday to Wednesday. So next Friday will be our last Friday, and then we're going to move it to Wednesday. And we are doing it so you can register ahead of time, and so it'll be every Wednesday 10:30. If you register one time, then you're going to get a reminder every single week. You can attend, you can not attend. We're going to record it. We do have all of the recordings on our YouTube channel. I put the link in there. I have our Facebook group in there, which is Mortgage Video. Join our mastermind group if you're not already there. And share it. Share it with your team. If you want your team to do more videos, share it with them. And so you can go to www.mortgagevideomastermind.com and you can register there. We'll also post it into our group, and then join us in the challenge. Start doing the 75 easy.
I was just sitting here thinking, another great topic we could do if we have a team, even if that team is 1 person or 2 or 3, and even if they're in a different area that I'm in, to have them help us with this and do a quick video. Say, hi, I'm Carl. I'm on the Scott Schang team, and what I help Scott's clients do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So anyway, Scott's told me so much about all you guys. Looking forward to meeting more of you, and we'll talk to you when you call in, and send it out as my video, to my group. Yeah. But it would be my help identifying who they are, and that'd be just. They're just all kinds of different ideas, and people like to see who the team is. They do. They like to peek behind the curtain and see who's there. So
and you can have fun with it. Years ago, we shot just a short little video before video was even much of anything, of someone honestly running through the office with a file back when we had physical files, and taking the file to underwriting and just saying, hey, file's just gone to underwriting. I worked for a wholesale lender at the time, and so it was just a fun way to say, hey, we're moving you along, just something to kind of, so meeting the team, absolutely, and putting them together. Last week I was in Atlanta and we videotaped an organization, and they brought in their ops team, and so we sat down and just did a very informal discussion about them and how they work. And it was so cool because by having that interaction, you got to see how much love was between them, and you could never ever ever capture that in an email, in a phone call, or anything else. But just taping them, and this is what we do, and then Amanda's team does this, and they're like, oh, and you do such a great job. I mean, it was just like, I was like, this is gold. So being able to involve your team is a great way to do that too.
Another thing I'd like to say is depending on where you're posting your videos, know your audience, and speak to whoever your audience is. And kind of what we've mentioned is we're trying to create habits here. We're creating habits, and we're creating a level of comfort with telling stories and turning on the video camera. So maybe your stories, maybe your audience is friends and is friends and family. Maybe you're embarrassed to do a lot of business type videos on your on your page, or whatever the case is. That's okay. Do whatever is comfortable and whatever you feel is comfortable for your audience. And you don't have to just do one. You can do a separate one or a business one and post that on LinkedIn, right? Than what you do on Facebook, because it's a different audience and they're open to a different message. And all of this is this habit, getting rid of overcoming the fear and the reluctance. Use that and leverage that into things that you can do to grow your business outside of this challenge. And ultimately, that's the goal of our group. That's the goal of this group. That's the goal of this challenge, is really to create this comfort zone so that you're sharing all of that great stuff. Carl, you let me talk about, I called it the ultimate referral machine. And all it really was is creating content and letting people know. And the first thing that I say in that presentation is that I would be willing to bet that you could triple your business in the next 36 months if more people knew how awesome you were. And that's really all it comes down to, is you're amazing. If you're watching this and you're following this stuff and you're trying to get better, you're amazing. You have a story to tell. You have people to help out there. And that's part of really what we're trying to accomplish is to just make you more comfortable and support you and help you, reinforce and lift you up and let you know that you are changing lives, by sharing yourself with people out there, and just keep doing it.
Yep. Well said. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and sign off for today. Carl, you need to get.
Don't miss your plane, Carl.
Yeah, I got a dash to run to the airport here. So,
Yeah. So
because I'm going to be at
joining us.
I'm going to be at Tammy's birthday party tomorrow, and I can't miss Tammy's. You know Tammy.
Yes.
I can't. I don't know if tomorrow's her actual birthday, but that's her party's tomorrow. So
Nice.
Puerto Rico.
I need
Well,
somebody to be available for bail money just in case things get out of hand. So
that's important. Well, tell her we said happy birthday.
I'll do that. Thanks so much for everything you do, guys. I really
Okay,
appreciate
thanks, guys. And for everyone else, thanks. We'll see you next Friday, and go make a video.
Yes.